Hi everyone, welcome back to Max Diary. Today we are discussing about our second chapter in 6th standard, average. In this chapter we are just explaining the ideas of average and its uses and also making better estimates on the basis of average and also comparing two groups by computing the average and solving problem using this idea average. So let's start. I know that every one of you just heard about the term average. In your classes, sometimes the teachers will say that she's a average student or he's a below average students, etc. like that. Average, below average, above average, like that, isn't it? So, what is average? Let's check. In our textbook, first topic is donation math. What is donation math? Just go through that. This is just a question. Children in 6th A decided to raise 1000 rupees to buy books for the library. There are 40 children in the class and they decided that all of them should give the same amount. How much should each give? That's our question. How can we compute this? Yes, we have to divide these numbers. We have to divide 1000 by 40. Then we will get the answer. So we know that the number of students is 40 and total amount collected is 1000 rupees. So we want to find the amount collected by each student. So we can divide 1000 by 40. We will get it as 25. Okay. So what about the next question? There are 30 children in class 6th B. They raised 1200 rupees for a medical fund. Can you calculate how much each gave? That's our question. I know that everyone get the answer like this. Number of students is 30 and the total amount collected is 1200 rupees. And we just get the amount collected by each student is when we divide 1200 by 30, that's 40. Isn't it? Did you get this answer? Many of you get this answer. In the previous question, the students are decided that all of them should give the same amount. But what about the second question? Here the amount given may not be the same. So we cannot say exactly how much each gave. Yet we can say something about the amount each gave. If all had given the same amount, each would have given 40 rupees. If all had given less than 40 rupees, they could not have raised 1200 rupees. In the same way, all could not have given more than 40 rupees. So we can say something like this. If all had given the same amount, then each would have given 40 rupees. If some had given less than 40 rupees, then some other must have given more than 40 rupees. Is it correct? So here we can say that the 40 rupees is an average amount. Okay. Here we say that the average amount of each kid give is 40 rupees. I think that now all of you clear about what is average. Average is just a representing value or just an indicating value of some data. From the previous question, we know that how can we get that average? We are just divide the total amount by the number of students. Okay, then we will get the average. Okay. So we can formulate a formula for average just like this. Average equal to total by number. Just sum of the datas divided by the number of datas. Now let's check some average problems. The next question is Manikuttan supplies milk to the society each day. Last week he supplied 56 liters in all. How much did he give each day of this week on average? That's our question. How can we find the answer of this question? By using average. Here we know that total quantity of milk is 56 liters and number of days in a week is 7 days. So the average is total quantity of milk divided by the number of days. Okay, that is 56 by 7, that is 8 liters. I already told you that average is not an exact value, it is just an indicating value or just a representing value. Here the amount given on all day may not be the same. As mentioned at the beginning, this does not mean he supplies exactly 8 liters each day. It might be 7 liters one day and 9 liters another day. It might be slightly more than or less than 8 liters each day. And also it is very much unlikely that he gave only 1 liter one day and 15 liters another day. Okay, let's check another problem. On 5 days a man spends 300 rupees, 250 rupees, 270 rupees, 280 rupees and 290 rupees. How much did he spend each day on average? That's our question. How can we get the average? To get the average expenditure per day, we have to divide the total amount spent by the number of days. Let's check it out. For getting the answer, we have to find how much did he spend in all, that is total expenditure. We can get it that just adding 300, 250, 270, 280 and 290, that is 1390 rupees, and the number of days is here is 5 days. So we can find the average expenditure per day by total expenditure divided by number of days, that is 1390 divided by 5, that is 278 rupees. Next question is, this is a table having the length of clothes needed to make shirts for some kids in Sudhi's class. Then we want to find that there are 23 boys in that class. How much should be bought to make shirts for all? That's we want to find. How can we compute this? If the length of cloth is the same for all, we can calculate exactly how much is for 23 kids. From the table, we can get that the total length needed for 5 students is 600 centimeters. And so the average of clothes needed for each student is, we are just divide the total length by the number of students, that is 600 by 5, that is 120 centimeters. If it is same amount for all, we can say each need 120 centimeters. In other words, in average length needed for each is 120 centimeters. Since they are all in the same class, there wouldn't be much difference among the length needed for them. So we can estimate the total length of the cloth needed as 23 into 120 centimeters, that is 2760 centimeters, that is 27 meters and 60 centimeters. I just ask you one question. Just think about that. Here the average length is 120 centimeters. But would it be right to cut out a 120 centimeter piece for each? No, it's not right, because 120 is just an average value. It is not an exact value. Okay? Let's do some other problems. There are 4 problems in our textbook. Let's check it. Here the first question is, the number of children who attended classroom Monday to Friday are 34, 35, 32, 33 and 31. What is the average number of children who attended classes each day? For getting the an average, first we want to find the total number of children who attended the class. So here we are just adding the terms 34, 35, 32, 33 and 31, and that is 165. And the number of classes is 5. So the average is, we are just dividing the total number of children who attended the classes by number of students. So the answer is 165 by 5, that is 33. That is, the average number of children who attended the classes each day is 33 students. Look at the second question. The table shows the amount of electricity used in Maji's house for some months. What is the average amount of electricity used per month, and which are the months on which usage is more than the average? That is our question. First, we want to find the average amount of electricity used per month. So, first we want to find the total amount of electricity used and divide that number by 5. Then we will get it as 410 divided by 5, that is 82. So, 82 is the average use of electricity per month. Now we want to check which are the months on which usage is more than the average. Here this January and February are the months the usage of electricity is more than average. The average is 82 in January, that is 85, and in February it is 90. The next question is, the weight of players in a team are 68 kg, 72 kg, 80 kg, 70 kg, 60 kg and 70 kg. What is the average weight of a player in the team? That's our question. How can we find the average of this? First of all, just add the 6 persons weight. Take the total of the weights and divide it by the number of players in that team, that is 6. Okay, just divide the total by 6. We will get the average. You should write it in yourself. And what about the next question? The total income for a man in 8 days is 1840 rupees. What is his average income per day? For getting the average, first of all we know that the total income is 1840 and the number of days is 8. So we should divide 1840 divided by 8. That is the average. Okay, this also you will be just try it yourself. Next is a different type of problem. Here, Ausep and Abu grow different types of coconut trees. Ausep has 20 trees and Abu has 18 trees. See how many coconut each got last year. That's shown in the table. Which kind give more coconut? Can we decide this by comparing just the total number each got? No. Now we want to find the average. Let's compute the average number of coconut per tree for each kind. Here the total number of coconuts Ausep got the last year is, just adding the terms, we will get it as 900. And the number of coconut trees Ausep have is 20. So the average of coconuts per tree Ausep got is, we are just divide 900 by 20, we will get it as 45. Then we want to find the about Abu. What is the average of Abu? Then the first of all, this total number of coconuts Abu got the last year, that is 864. Just adding that terms we will get that. And the number of coconut trees is 18. Here the average number of coconuts per tree Abu got is 48. Now we get the number of coconuts per tree of Ausep and Abu. Just like this we can decide that the Abu's kind of trees give better yield. Okay, that are good trees. From this problem we know that we use average for comparing things. Just look at the question. During the Forest Fest celebration, two divisions of class 5 decided to plant trees as a Harida Club activity. 35 children of class 5th A planted 245 saplings and 30 children of class 5th B planted 240. On the basis of average number of saplings planted per kid, which division did a better job? That is our question. We want to compare this. First, we want to check the average number of saplings planted by 5th A. First of all, just take the total number of saplings planted, that is 245, and the number of students is 35. So, the average is 7. And in the case of 5th B, the total number of saplings planted is 240 and the number of students is 30. Then the average number of saplings planted per acre is 8. Okay. And there is another question, that which division did a better job? Okay, by comparing the averages, we can conclude that 5th B did a better job. They were planted at 8 trees per acre. They made a good job. This is just different question. The table shows the number of members and the amount of water used in a month of 3 households. The table shows that, and the first question is, how much water did one person in the first household use on average? That is the first question. How can we find the average of first household, average water used in the first household? Just divide the number 18,000 divided by 6. Then we will get it as 3,000. Okay, that it is 3,000. Just check that. Next is, what about the other households? So we want to find how much water did one person used for the remaining households. That is, the second is 6,000 liters. 6,000 liter divided by 4, that is 4,000. And what about the next third household? 16,500 divided by 5, that is 3,300. Okay, just check that answers. And the third question is, according to these figures, in which household used most water per person? By looking at the table, we can just easily say that the first household, but it is not correct. For by just checking the number of persons, when taking the average, we know that the second household has the more. We use more water for the second household. Now let's check some other kind of problems. Now we know that how can we calculate average. We are calculating average by we are dividing total amount divided by the number. Okay, the sum of the data divided by the number of the data. Okay, now we are going to find the total and number. How can we find when we have an average? The average is given. How can we find the total amount, or how can we find the number of datas? Just look at that. We know that the formula for average, from that we can get the total of the data and total of the data and also the number of datas using the formula of average. And just remind that terms, we can get total by multiplying average with the number of datas, and we want to get the number, just divide the total by average. Just remind these equations. Now let's do some problems using this. Next problem is milk math. Ramu checked his sale of milk for some days and calculated the average income to be 150 rupees per day. If he continues like this, how much can he expected from the sale of milk in June? That's our question. This question is slightly different. Here we know the average income per day. Okay, average income per day, and we want to find the total. Okay, total. Here the average income per day is 150 rupees and the number of days in June is 30, and total amount in June is, we can get it by multiplying average and number. We just seen the previous picture that is 150 into 30, that is 4,500 rupees. The next question is, children were asked to donate books to the school library. Using the given detail, fill up the table below. there is a table that having class and number of children, then total number of books and average. Now here we want to find the average and also the total number and also the number of children. Now you can use these formulas for finding the answer. Next is trade math. The income for 5 days of a trade are 6,435 rupees, 6,927 rupees and 6,855 rupees, 7,230 rupees, 6,562 rupees. After the 66th day, he calculated the average income as 6,500 rupees per day. How much did he got on the 6th day? That's our question. Just do that. Here the income for 5 days are just given in the picture in the question, and the average income for 6 days, total income for 6 days divided by 6, that is 6,500. We want to find the income for 6 days, and total income for 6 days we know that we can find it by multiplying average income into 6, that is 6,500 into 6, that is 39,000. And the total income for 5 days is we can get from the income for 5 days, just add that 5 values, that is 34,005. Then so the income for 6 days we are just subtracting the numbers 39,000 minus 34,009, then we will get 4,991. In the case of 6th B, we want to find the average. Okay, then we are just divide 260 by 40, we will get the average. In the next question, we want to find the number of children. So we can get it by the total number of books divided by average. And then next is number, we want to find the number of books. We can get it by, we just multiplying 32 into 10. Just do it yourself. The next question is, the average age of a child in a class of 35 is 11. The average age including the teacher is 12. How old is the teacher? That's our question. How can we find it? Just look at this. Here the average age of students are 11 and there are 35 students. So we get the total age by multiplying average age by number of students, that is 11 into 35, that is 385. Next we have the average age including the teacher, that is we just give that 12, and then we want to find the total age. Here we are just getting the total age by multiplying average age into the number of persons. Here number of persons is 35 students plus 1 teacher, so 36. So the total age is 12 into 36, that is 432. So the age of the teacher we can calculate by total age including the teacher minus total age of the students, that is 47. The third question is, the average weight of a kid in a group of 10 is 35 kilograms. When Sonu is also joined them, the average become 36 kilogram. How much does Sonu weight? We can do it in the same way we are just doing the second question. Next question is, the average rainfall per month during 2014 in a place was calculated to be 23 centimeters. The total rainfall during June, July and August was 150 centimeters. This is the question. There are 3 sub-questions are there. Let's check the answer. The first question is, what is the average rainfall per month during these 3 months? By calculating this, we know that the total rainfall during the 3 months is 150 centimeter and the number of months is 3. Then the average rainfall during the 3 months is when we divide the total rainfall divided by the number of months, that is 50 centimeter. Our next question is, what was the total rainfall during the entire year of 2014? We can find the answer by average rainfall per month during 2014 is 23 centimeter and the number of months in that year is 12. Then we want to find the total rainfall during the year. Then we multiply the average rainfall into the number of years. So number of months in an year. So 23 into 12, that is 276 centimeters. Then our third question is, what is the average rainfall per month during the other 9 months? Then the answer is, average rainfall in an year is 276. Also we know that average rainfall in 3 months is 150. So the average rainfall during the 9 months is, just we are subtracting this 227 minus 150, then that is 126 centimeters. Our sixth question is, when a person calculated his expense from Sunday to Thursday, he found the average expenditure to be 400 rupees per day. Including Friday, the average increased to 430 rupees per day. Now, how much did he spend on Friday? Including Saturday, the average decreased to 390 rupees per day. How much did he spend on Saturday? That's our question. Let's check how can we do this. We know that the average expenditure from Sunday to Thursday, that is 400 rupees. Then the total expenditure from Sunday to Thursday is, we can find it by 400 into 5. 5 means there are 5 days, that is 2000 rupees. Then the average expenditure from Sunday to Friday is 4. We know that in the question 430 rupees. Then the total expenditure from Sunday to Friday, there are 6 days are there, so we can find it by 430 into 6, that is 2580 rupees. So we can find the his expenditure on Friday by total expenditure from Sunday to Friday minus total expenditure from Sunday to Thursday, that is 2580 minus 2000, then it is 580 rupees. Including Saturday, the average expenditure equal to 390 and total expenditure equal to 390 into 7, that is 2730 rupees. Then we can find the expenditure on Sunday by subtracting total expenditure up to Saturday minus total expenditure up to Friday, that is we will get it as 150. So that is the expenditure on Saturday. We can just do this problem like this. Okay friends, I think that all of you know that what is average and how can we solve average problems, and also how can we compare two groups by computing the average. Okay, and practice some these problems in your home, and also do some other problems from your textbook or in other resources. Collect the problems and do that, and all the best. Thanks for watching the video, and thank you everyone once again. Thank you.